everybody. Sri Ram. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Bhadram Karne Bhisrunuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pasyema Akshabhiryajatraha. Sthirairangaihi. Tushtuvagum Sastanubhihi. Vyasema Devahitam. Yadayuhu. Swasti na Indro. Vruddhasravaha. स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टिः अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नममुक्तिं विधेम ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ ब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसि जायताम् राष्ट्रे राजन्यः शूरैषव्योतिव्याधि महारथो जायताम् दुग्ध्रीधेनुः वोढानड्वान् आसुः सप्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णुरथेष्ठा सभेयो युवास्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामेन पर्जन्यो वर्षतो फलवत्यो नवोषधयः पच्यन्ताम् योगक्षेमो नः कल्पेताम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् अहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ स्वस्ति. So today being Friday, penultimate day is to enjoy the Deepavali celebrations, and Deepavali is almost marked as the year beginning. So Deepavali to Deepavali, there will be a number of changes in the lifestyles, life fashions and programs of all people all over the country, globe. But some people consider it Hindus more so, because there is significance that the Narakasura, the great demon, who was a trouble to all sajjanas and gods and all people, was removed from his existence. Then we have the Amavasya, the last day of the festivals of the year. As we noted, the festivals begin from Amavasya to Amavasya, rather from Ashadha Amavasya to Deepavali Amavasya. So this is the duration for our functions and festivals. Therefore, we are at the almost penultimate, last function of this year, Prabhakargaru Samvatsaram, where we can have more celebrations and all that. So this being the case, I will continue in 2 seconds. So this Deepavali Amavasya we are wishing so to all our Kendra and others who are following these Upanishad and other classes, wish happy Deepavali, because I will meet them only after next week. So wishing that happy Deepavali and Anugraha of Krishna Paramatma, because it's all Krishna who has done a lot of good work. And Vamanavatara and Krishna Avatara are implied here of Mahavishnu. So on the next day, Bali Chakravarti, he was pushed down to the Patal Loka, but he asked a boon from Lord Vamana, Vishnu, asking, I want to come back and see how the earth is going on, which I rule long. So Bali Chakravarti was granted the boon. Once in a year, he will just come up, examine, supervise the whole world, Earth Bhubhagas, and then goes back to his place. That's how. So our Hindu festivals, functions, and celebrations are having a lot of meaning behind it. And behind all these things, there is a lot of thinking offered by our great rishis from time to time. In that sequence, we have Veda Samhitas, the compilation of the mantras. Then we have got the commentaries called as Brahmanas. And each Veda has got Brahmanas or explanatory texts, commentator. So the commentatorial activity became very much visible when we turned to our study to the Brahmanas. That is, each Veda has got a Brahmana. And in this sequence, we are now at particularly looking at the Yajurveda and the Shukla Yajurveda, which has got a Brahmana, only one Brahmana, Satapada Brahmana is there. And in that, we have got Aranyaka, that's what we call Bruhadaranyaka, and there are Upanishad. So we come to the Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad, which contains 6 chapters. And likewise, we have also for Rigveda, Aitareya Brahmana, one of the Brahmanas, then Aitareya Upanishad. So Aitareya Maharshi is an interpreter for our Vedic mantras found in the Rigveda. And we have again other Vedas, Samaveda, 8 Brahmanas are there. And for Atharveda, only one Brahmana is there. That's called Gopatha Brahmana. So afterwards, we have plenty of Vedic texts that have come down to be able to present to us the meaning, the significance, the import, the excellences, etc. All of them are coming down to us. Therefore, it is really a great honor that we are having because of the rishis who have been responsible to give us timetable upon our life. Actually, when we are born, we have nothing in our hand or in future. But time is there. You cannot remain in the cradle, nor upon the ground, but you are having a lot of changes. So, but we must want some gnanam. Knowledge is important. Because all rishis have agreed to say, gnanena tu kaivalyam na anyata. Only through knowledge you can get in singular kailasa or moksha or other lokas, better lokas, but no other possibility. Whatever money you earn, you have to live here. Whatever buildings you build should live here. Whatever tirtha yatras, places you go, you can't go further. So like that, everything gets done with when we are born upon the earth. But beyond that, what are we going to do like? That is the question and quest for all our Upanishadic thinkers. So in that sequence, each Rishi has got his own knowledge, experience, and understanding of the life process and life secrets and life wisdom. And so, but we have so many kings, emperors, saints, rishis, philosophers, and gurus, and so on, who have always been spending thoughts on life after leaving the body. We only think of life during the body. When we hold the body, but we can't hold the body because the body is open for decay and ultimately to diminish. It's a disease and disease. So that's why in that sequence, we have also got a great Maharshi, Yajnavalkya Maharshi. We have got so many rishis, Yajnavalkya, Aitareya, Bharadwaja, Kanada, and Vishwamitra, and we have got so many rishis. We cannot name them. Not only male, also rishikas are there. Large number of rishikas are there. So the sex or gender is no matter for knowledge. Before the goddess of learning, everybody has got to bow down their head and say, Amma, we are individually nobody, but we want your grace. That's exactly what we note from the Samala Dandakam. Today being Friday, Samala Devi also is very important. It's a Gnana Murti. Is a Gnana Devata. She is the Mantrini for Lalita Parameswari, Lalita Para Bhattarika. She is a Gnana Murti, Mantrini, and so much so that Ammavaru, Lalita Parameswari, has vested the responsibility of administration of the Rajyam, Mahasamrajyam, into the hands of Syamalamba. Therefore, Mantrini Nyasta Rajyadhu, the Rajyadhu, the responsibility of the Rajyam administration is being deposited in Syamalamba, and she is very, and therefore Kalidasa got a vision of her, and so he said, Jnanasaratmakam pustakam bibrati yena sanchinchate. So whatever pustakam, the book that she is holding in her hand, is the replica of the essence of all knowledge, adhyatmic knowledge. Therefore, we go to her also. So thereby, we are seeing the knowledge is the alpha and omega and A and Z of our pursuits in our existence of life. So with this kind of introduction, we'll go to the text of Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad, the Munikanda, where you have a dialogue between Janaka Maharaja and Yajnavalkya Maharshi. Similarly, you have Janaka, a student before other Rishi, who is a sadhu and who is a Rishi, that's called Ashtavakra Rishi. So the Ashtavakra Maharshi is such a Gnani, Avadhuta, and Janaka Maharaja wanted to get some knowledge, how to get knowledge, how to get mukti, how to get the emancipation. These are all the three questions. And Tyaga Buddhi, how to get the Tyagam. Because Tyaga is something very hard for anybody to do it with. But here, whether you do give up or not, things give you up. Nothing is constant. Sarvam naswaram. Nakaschit saswatam. But which is saswatam? The permanent is only Parameswari. Shaswati Paramaiswar, Shaswati Paramesi. In Lalita Sahasranam, she is only one who is constantly vigilant and supervising and existent in spite of the changes and circumstances of the world process. Anyway, with this kind of thing, we come to know that, there is a discussion, which is the light. Kim Jyotihi. To just be able to know the Jyoti itself is a big issue. When once you know that there is Jyoti to be pursued, and there is that kind of light and resplendent brilliance, then you will be able to get that brilliance or Jyoti is intelligence. Dhishakti, Adhi is the Jyoti that has been instituted in all creatures in the world, whether it is a horizontal Jantu or a perpendicular one. That is Tiryak Jantu and Samyak Jantu. All humans are Samyak Jantus and all animals are Tiryak Jantus. They move horizontal to the ground with 4 feet, while man walks with 2 feet perpendicular to the ground. So when one is perpendicular, there is always many advantages, primarily the intelligence. So thereby that Vidya Arjana could be possible to all of them. So ultimately, in the discussion between Janak Maharaja and Yagnavalkya, they come to a point to say that whatever Jyoti outside you are seeing, Agni, Vaku, Chandrama, Surya, etc., all these also will go away. They rise, they work, they disappear, done with that. So this kind of rising and setting, growth and disappearance, both are happening in the nature. So when that is the condition, then what is that which is permanent in us, which will guide us and which will take us when we leave the body? Therefore, they come to the understanding that Purusha is there, and in Purusha there is Atma. See, and what is that Atma? Atma, he says, Vijnanamayaha Praneshu Hrudyantar Jyotihi Purushaha Saha Samanaha San Ubhau Lokau Anusancharati Jayativa Lelayativa Sahahi. So there is activity, karma. Krishna universally pointed out to us in Bhagavad Gita, saying, Nako api tishthate akarma krutu. Kuru is yoga. Therefore, nobody can remain in any world not doing anything. Don't think that only humans are doing work. Even gods are also very busy. Even Narayana is also busy. Brahma is busy. Who is not busy? Nobody is busy. Therefore, here it is said, Jyotihi Purushaha. And what would have become? He swapno bhutva imam lokam atikramati. So he will turn into swapna, and in the dream, though our body is there on the bed mattress, you will try to go up. And when once you get into the swapna loka, then from swapna loka, you will be able to visualize 2 things. One is the paraloka and bhuloka. And in between, the swapna is taken to be sandhyam. That's why it says, tasya va etasya purushasya dve eva sthane bhavataha. So, dve eva sthane bhavataha. For man, there are only 2 positions, locations. What are they? Idam cha, paraloka, sthanam cha. So, iloka, paraloka. These are the 2 things. Something like what we tell that so in between the Dhuloka and Paraloka, Sandhyam Trutiyagam Swapnasthanam, Sandhya is there. Sandhya is the junction. Sandhya is the meeting point. So ಆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಎರಡು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರವೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, our Grushis tell you, right in the morning and right in the night, the Sandhya time ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೇವಾನಾಂ ಚ ಪಿತॄನಾಂ ಚ ಸಮಾಗಮಃ ಸಂಭವತಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. The gods and Pitrudevatas would have a meeting or just meeting or contact during the Sandhya time. At that time, the Pitrudevatas will speak about their belonging, people living upon the earth. ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಪಿತೃದೇವತೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ತರ್ಪಣ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಅಮಾವಾಸ್ಯೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಾಳಿದ್ದು. ಆವಾಗ ಪಿತೃ ಪೂಜಾ is important. Pitru Tarpana is important. And Snana is important. Everything that religiously you be there, that is all advantageous for the departed souls. Living soul, that means body living, soul is on. Body departing, that becomes different, and it depends upon the living souls. So soul which has gone off, that's why Swapna Sthanam. And what would happen being in the Swapna state, he will be able to see Paralokasthanam cha yatha kramoyam. So yatha kramaha, kramam yatha kramaha. That is order yavdidiyo, orderly way. It's called yatha kramam. Not deviating from the krama or the pathvaram. Therefore, yatha kramoyam paralokasthane bhavati. So, as and how required, destined, he will just reach up the other loka. And in fact, many people are scared to sit in the Upanishad classes or Vedanta classes because they are very much fond of the material programs and material acquisitions and all that. Many people don't want to know Vedanta, don't want to sit in the Vedanta class or Veda class or this class, because they always give you a lot of wisdom connected to the world life that they are living now, contemporary. Also, the likely ground that they are going to reach up, and also the experiences that they might go through in other world. It is something like practically we see when you go to Singapore in Tiger Park, there is a big section where hell is being given. So ನರಕಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಪನಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೌ and what are the kind of punishments and all that, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ they have shown there in practical doll making, and also sometimes operated electronically also. And hellಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆವಾಗ when I visited it, there you have to take a ticket for $1. $1 ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನರಕಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂಥರಹ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು, ನಾನು ಗಾಯತ್ರಿ ಮಂತ್ರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕೊಡುವ ಹಿಂದೂ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ ಆರ್ಲೆಂಡು ಒಬ್ಬರು ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದರು, ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆರ್ಲೆಂಡು ಡಿಸ್ನಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಈ ಸ್ವರ್ಗಂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಈ ಸ್ವರ್ಗಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ, ಆಲ್ ದಟ್ ಮನಿ ಇಸ್ ಪುಣ್ಯಂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ $1 ಇಸ್ ಸಿನ್. ಸೊ ಈ ತರಹ ನಾವು ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ರೆಪ್ಲಿಕಾ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು we are able to understand how would be like, how would our life be when once we are not with body. Body is only a gain, and losing the body is another. That's why they say losing somebody when he dies, we always feel sad about it. So here, like that, we have yatha kramoyam paralokasthane bhavati. ಆಮೇಲೆ we have no option to escape from the paraloka. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ if you leave house, you should go to market. If you leave market, you will come back to the house. In between, you are not at all comfortable. When Rama left Ayodhya to stay in Aranya for 14 years, again he has to go back to Ayodhya and hold the responsibility of governing the land. Therefore, in between, you see Rama went through a lot of changes and difficulties and pressures and all the problems and dukkha's. I was just imagining this morning. See, we read Ramayana and we always look at the exploits and then journey and positive and his. How about the weather conditions in which he was exposed in a forest where there is definitely a different level of pressures of air, water, and all those things. But you forget that Rama is a Mahavishnu, but Avatara as a human. But apart from that, the hardships that one would face is really unimaginably great. That's why ರಾಮೋ ಶಸ್ತ್ರಭೃತಾಂ ವರಿಷ್ಠ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಭವಭೂತಿ ಉತ್ತರರಾಮಚರಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ರಾಮಸ್ಯ ಕರುಣೋರಸ ಪುಟಪಾಕ ಪ್ರತೀಕಾಶಃ ರಾಮಸ್ಯ ಕರುಣೋರಸಃ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದ ನಾವು. ಈಗ ಏಕೋ ರಸ ಏವ ಕರುಣ ಏವ ರಸಃ ನಿಮಿತ್ತ ಭೇದಾತ್ ಪೃಥಕ್ ಪೃಥಕ್ ಭವತಿ ಅಂತ ಆ ಭವಭೂತಿ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಋಷೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಉಪನಿಷದಿಕ್ stage, or that there are rishis are born, rishis are created, rishis are acquired. So that's why ನಮ್ಮ ಋಷಿಭ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಆ ಉತ್ತರರಾಮಚರಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಮಹಾ ಭವಭೂತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಏನಂತ, that Karuna is the only one rasa, precipitating rasa of all other rasas, and Rama is a maximum example for all that. Ramasya Karunarasa. How like the Karuna in Rama? Putapaka Prasika. Puta andre spring in well. So well alli spring idre, ಬಾವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಊಟ ಸ್ಥಾನ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀರು ಖಾಲಿ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಆಗೋ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ವೆಲ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಆ ದಿವಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎ ವೆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಹೌಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ವೆಲ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಮೇಲೆನೇ ಆಧಾರ ಬೀಳುವ ಕೆಲವರು ವೈಷ್ಣವರು ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೋ ಟು ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ ವಾಟರ್, ಅದರ್ ವಾಟರ್, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಾ ವಾಟರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ well. They do all anusthana with the well water, cooking well water, eating, drinking. So we have such type of religious people. Even today I can have a number of them quoted. Anyway, so here and ಏನಾಗತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಉಭಯಾನ್. So what is the ubhaya ಅಂದ್ರೆ that and this, ಅದು ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಅವನು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನೋಡೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, he will have the ಪಾಪ್ಮನಃ ಆನಂದಂ ಚ ಪಶ್ಯತಿ. He will see the sin meter reading. He will see the punya meter reading. ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್, ವಾಟರ್ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಮೀಟರ್ ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೆಂಪರರಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಸಿನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವರ್ಚ್ಯೂ, Papa Punya meter is there available for examination only when you go to Paraloka. And in other words, even in this world also, now we will be experiencing the Punyam and Papam. So some great Rishi tells that when you smile and laugh, your Punya is operating. When once you become sad and worried and shed tears in your eyes out of grief, then papam is working. So punya papa dve eva manushyanam adharam. So manushyanike adhara yavadu andre punya papagalu. So papmanah anandamscha pasyati. Then sa yatra prasvapitasya lokasya sarvavatah matramapadaya ಸ್ವಯಂ ವಿಹತ್ಯ ಸ್ವಯಂ ನಿರ್ಮಾಯ ಸ್ವೇನ ಭಾಸಾ ಸ್ವೇನ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ ಪ್ರಸ್ವಪತಿ ಅತ್ರಾಯಂ ಪುರುಷಃ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರ್ಭವತಿ. See, this is exactly wonderful proposition which our rishis have given out to us, that when does man become a light by himself? You always think that Surya Jyotihi, Surya Jyoti Swaha, Agnir Jyoti Swaha, Surya Agnir Jyoti Swaha ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೋಮ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಗೆ ಆಹುತಿಗಳು, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಗೆ ಆಹುತಿಗಳು ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾನು ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟು ಸೂರ್ಯಾಯ ಸ್ವಾಹ, ಸೂರ್ಯ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷೇ ಸ್ವಾಹ. ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ದಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್. ಸೊ ದಿ ಆತ್ಮ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಆತ್ಮ ತು ಆರೇ ದೃಷ್ಟವ್ಯ ಶ್ರೋತವ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಆತ್ಮನನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆತ್ಮವಿತ್. ಆತ್ಮವಿತ್ ಆತ್ಮ ಭವತಿ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡ್ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ? ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನ. So Krishna in Yajurveda, beautiful, Krishna in Gita tells you ಏನಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕು? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಗೋಲ್? ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನ ನಿತ್ಯತ್ವಂ ತತ್ವಜ್ಞಾನಾರ್ಥ ದರ್ಶನಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನ ನಿತ್ಯತ್ವಂ, ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ, ಎವ್ರಿ ಮಿನಿಟ್ you should be able to gain knowledge regarding your own self, regarding your own administration of your body. That is, you should be conscious. ದಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಆಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ our consciousness has got to be live, improving. You know, we have got a lot of studies on consciousness. And Paramatma yaru andre Radha Krishna has told, and I heard him telling directly in Pune when he was announcing the completion of Mahabharata project in sometime in 60s. So that he said, Paramatma or Parabrahman is called supra-cosmic transcendental conscious force. ಅನ್ನೋವಾಗ ಅದು ಕಾನ್ಷಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಅದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಕರ್ಮ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಕರ್ಮದೇವ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಈವನ್ ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್, ಆಸ್ ಮಹಾನಾರಾಯಣ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಯು, ಕರ್ಮದೇವಾನಾಂ, ದೇವತೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಕರ್ಮದೇವತೆಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡಿವಿಷನ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್. ಮೇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇವಾಶ್ಚ ಮಹಾದೇವಾಃ ಗರಗಿರಃ ವೈದ್ಯೇನಂ ವೈದ್ಯತೋ ಹಿನಸ್ತಿ. ಇಸ್ ಅರುಣ ಪ್ರಶ್ನ. That's again Aranyaka, Saitriya Aranyaka, belonging to Krishna Yajurveda. There it is said, gods have main two divisions. One, ordinary class, third class, Gandhi class. And the next one is first class. You remember, in earlier, we had only two classes, ordinary and first class. Later on, they introduced railways, second class. And then they introduced the Janata. Then they introduced sleeper car, etc. So, ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೊಂದೇ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ಆ ಪುರುಷ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನಂದ್ರೆ, ವೆನ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಹಿ ಎಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್, ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ವಯಂ ವಿಹತ್ಯ ಸ್ವಯಂ ನಿರ್ಮಾಯ ಸ್ವೇನ ಭಾಸಾ ಸ್ವೇನ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ ಪ್ರಸ್ವಪಿತಿ. So he will be sleeping and he will be dreaming depending upon his own. He will construct or imagine things, nirmaya, and his own brilliance, bhasa, brilliance, jyotisha, light, luster. So these are the three things. What are these things? Swayam vihatya, one. Swayam nirmaya, nirmana is the construction. And svena bhasa, by his own eminence of punyam, papam, punyam and all that, brilliance, tejas. And svena jyotisha, with his own light, illumination. And then prasvapati. So he will be resting whatever personal gains that he has made by his own creation, even when he is in the state of dream. Ellargu, see, there is nobody who has no experience of dream in the world. ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಕನಸೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ನಿದ್ದೆನೇ ಮಾಡೋಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುಳ್ಳು. See, I met one great musician. He's no more, in Bengaluru, 8th block. He said, I don't sleep at all. And I don't get sleep at all. But saying is different from experience and reality. So ಆ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿನಿ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಡ್ರೀಮೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ನಿದ್ದೆನೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ನಿದ್ದೆ ಹೋದರೂ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುಳ್ಳು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್. ಆ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಷನ್, different level of scenery. That is what it said. What is that different scenery that you are going to get is, you are acting yourself. Swayam vihatya and swayam nirmaya. You will build your own castles. And when you build your own castles, you have your own brilliance, intelligence, and all that. Something like in your computer, you have got F1 and F2. F1 makes you dull, papam. F2 makes you bright. your computer is a complete set where many amenities are there in you, in the computer. So computer is, after all, is a part of human brain that has been brought outside your human brain and you are using. That's why the memory in the computer is so low compared to the memory in the brain. That's why people used to always say, you should try to by heart and make your brain memory, retention and reproduction large. But the computer memory is very low. But still, what to do? This is the technology that human beings have been experimented, scientists have come forth. So the computers are designed, and now how much changes every time the computer folds are changing. No new computer. But you cannot have a new brain. So our brain given by the Paramatma is Saswati, and that only we have got to use. So we have got so many brain technologists, brain doctors, brain surgeries, and brain surgeons and brain physicians, etc. So many people are there. In fact, in Adhyayana Kendra, we had neurologists, and then the brain, all these people have come and spoken to us regarding the brain condition, brain power, brain problems, brain diseases, brain cure, oh God, and brain surgery and all that. So ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ, ಸ್ವೇನ ಭಾಸ, that bhasa kanti, every being has got tejas. That's why in our prayer every day we say, brahman brahmano brahmavachasi jayatam. ಯಾರು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ, all those people who pursue Vedic knowledge, Upanishadic knowledge, the Adhyatma knowledge, they should be really prosperous and more bright in that. Therefore, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವರ್ಚಸಿ ಭೂಯಾಸಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವರ್ಚಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಭೋಸ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನೋಡು, ಅಗ್ನಿ ತೇಜೋವಾನ್, ಅಗ್ನಿರಿವ ತೇಜೋವಾನಹಂ ಭೂಯಾಸಂ, ಸೂರ್ಯಭ್ರಾಜೋವಾನ್ ಸೂರ್ಯೈವ ಭ್ರಾಜೋವಾನಹಂ ಭೂಯಾಸಂ. So why am and Indra Indriyavan, Indra iva Indriyavanaham bhuyasam. Look at the statements wherewith we do offerings and please God, Agni, Surya and Indra Bhagavan. So it means that there is a light in us. That a light must be made the light by virtue of the practice. So that kind of conversion could be possible. Growth could be, development could be possible by the individual himself. And that individual himself is called as a Purusha. That's exactly is the algebraic solution which our Rishis are, which our Yajnavalkya is arriving at. Actually, all Rishis have got a lot of algebraic knowledge, step by step, and ultimately this is the answer. So in Aruna Prashna also, that's a different one, Taittiriya. See, the Vedic students, Vasishtha and Rohini, they tried to investigate. ಏನಂತ question or doubt, suddenly doubt ಬಂತು. In the modern days, like to instant, apple fell down, and he was considering, so many people, if the apple falls down on the ground, they pick it up, eat and get out. But this scientist, no, why should apple fall downwards only? Then he has investigations done. So law of gravitation and all those things, etc. But in other word, there's again that kind of question. So Tejas is there, that Jyoti has got to be remembered. So Jyotisha, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರವೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಹಾನ್ಯಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೊಂದು ಆತ್ಮರಕ್ಷಾ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಆಗತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮರಕ್ಷಾ ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ, ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್? ಮನೋಜ್ಯೋತಿರ್ಜುಷತಾಂ ಅಂತ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಋಷಿಗಳು. ದಟ್ ಬೋಧಾಯನ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ in Mahanyasam takes the cue saying that Mano Jyotirdushatam. Therefore, even Yagnavalkya and Janaka in their dialogue, if they are telling that when once the fellow gets into dream state, a Sandhya status, then he is able to visualize both things, Paraloka and Abhuloka. At that time, he will be enjoying by his own bhasa, Svena Jyotisha Praswapati. See, Praswapati means he will have a deep sleep. That's exactly what we call Yoga Nidra. Or Yoga Nidra, they call it. Yoga Nidra andrenu, you will be unaware of the outside circumstances, but you will be enjoying your own. Therefore, when I visited an ashrama, so Swamiji has written a book on Yoga Nidra. It's a part of yogic exercise. And there is a book, if at all, you can just get that book also. I think that ashrama is there. I forgot the name. Adhyatma Yoga Ashrama also near in Bangalore, near an engineering college in yeah. So ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ ದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಬುಕ್ಸು people have written books on yoga nidra. Then he goes to Praswapati and Ayam Purusha Swayam Jyotir Bhavati. So then what happens? The Purusha Swabhava is dropped down. He becomes a Jyoti Rupaha. So Jyoti Agode ನಮ್ಮ next stage. ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಲೈಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ನವ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಡಲ್, ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಐ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲೌಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ದಿ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆರ್ ವುಮನ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ and it turns to be a corpse or sevam, near the head they keep one small lamp with a belief that the pranam and other pranas inside the body will not get into air immediately because it's difficult to catch it. So they try to make the pranam transferred to take shelter into jyoti, an oil lamp, not the electric lamp. See, ದೀಪಾವಳಿ ಹೊತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಡ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಗುರುಗಳು, ನೀವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮಡ್ಡಿ ಪ್ರಮಿದಾಸ್. ಸೊ ಮಣ್ಣಿಂದ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿರುವ ಪ್ರಮಿದದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ದೀಪಗಳನ್ನು ಜ್ಯೋತಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಮಣ್ಣಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಲ್ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಣ್ಣು. Because people are upon the ground, they come upon the earth. So Bhumi Devata is important. So yenadru doshagalu, papagalu, all kinds of negativity were to happen, it would happen only upon the earth. That's why the Skalana is there. So Shankaracharya says, Bhumau Skalitapadanam, Bhumirevavalambanam, ತ್ರೈಜಾತಾಪರಾಧಾನಾಂ ತ್ವಮೇವ ಶರಣಂ ಶಿವೇ ಅಂತ ಅಮ್ಮವಾರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಬದುಕಿರುವಾಗ ಸ್ಲಿಪ್ಸು, ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸು, ಪಾಪಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ಸ್ಲಿಪ್ ಆರ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್, ಯು ಫಾಲ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿ ಪುರುಷ will turn into Jyoti. So Purushaha Swayam Jyotir Bhavati. ಅರ್ಥವಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ಪುರುಷನು ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯಾಗಿ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಎಲ್ಲ ಝೀರೋ. ಡೂ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಜ್ವಾಲ? No, all directions are same. It is just burning. There is no east, west, and all that. So you can enkindle another thing from Jyoti from any direction. So all round. That's why Purusha becomes a Jyoti. Purusha becomes an all-round personality, but bright. There is no form. Jyoti has no form. But Jyoti takes the form as according as the Sarira. So Sarira hengidre ಆ ತರಹ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಶರೀರವೇ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಮ್ಮ ವೇದಾಂತಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದರ್ಶನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಮೂರ್ತಿ ಸ್ತೋತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ವೇದಾಂತ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಸೊ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಇಸ್ ದ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ, but if he is placed in a pot which has got all round holes. So all round holes idre pot alli, you imagine the light being emitted out from all directions. Viswam pasyate ದೃಶ್ಯಮಾನ ವಿಶ್ವಂ ದರ್ಪಣ ದೃಶ್ಯಮಾನ ನಗರಿ. ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಮೂರ್ತಿ ಸ್ತೋತ್ರ ಓದಬೇಕು. ದೇರ್ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಮೂರ್ತಿ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ, he will be able to illuminate our brains and our intelligence and also add more and more lights, something like series lights. ಒಂದು ಬಲ್ಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, 100 ಬಲ್ಬ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಮನೆ ಗೃಹ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಅಂದರೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಯೂಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೋಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇಲ್ಯೂಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೌ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡನ್, ಬಟ್ ವೆರಿ ರೇರ್. ಬಟ್ ಹೂವಿನ ಹಾರಗಳಿಂದ ಅಲಂಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮನೆಯನ್ನು. ಬಟ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಫೈಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಯೂಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್ ದಿ ಹೋಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್. ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ the building will be covered behind the jyoti. So what is a building? What is a building? Building is nothing but jyoti only. So there is jyoti outside and building inside is jyoti, and both put together would be Shiva Jyoti. That's why Shiva Jyoti is that means the house in which you live is a brilliant house. And ನೀವು ಕಿಟಕಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಗಾಳಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ವರಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಆ ತರಹ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಜ್ಯೋತ ಇತಿ ಶಬ್ದ, ಜ್ಯೋತ ಇತಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ. ಇಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇಲ್ಯೂಮಿನ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಲೈಟ್, ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೋ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹೈಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪವರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬ್ರಿಲಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಪ್, everything becomes bright and nothing could be hidden. That's exactly Surya Jyoti. So in Aditya Hridayam, our Valmiki Maharshi begins his Aditya Hridayam Upadesha to Rama with the first word, Yenapa, Rasmivantam Samudjantam Devasura Namaskrutam Pujayasva Vivasvantam Bhaskaram Bhuvaneswaram. You observe the word Bhaskara, ಭುವನೇಶ್ವರ, ರಶ್ಮಿವಾನ್, ದೇವಗಣೈ ಅಸುರಗಣೈ ಪೂಜಿತಃ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಎ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ. ದಿ ಆಕಾರ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸಪಿಯರ್, ದಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸಪಿಯರ್. ದೆನ್ ಹಿ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಎ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಅಂಡ್ ವೆನ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ದ ಪುರುಷ ಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಎ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ, ವಾಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಗೈನ್ ಅನದರ್ quest or investigation that we are going after. Therefore, I am reading the sentence, the next. Na tatra rathaha, na ratha yogaha, na panthanaha bhavanti. One idea. Atha rathan, ratha yogan, pathaha srujate. One idea. Na tatra ananda, amudaha, ಪ್ರಮುದಃ ಭವಂತಿ. another idea. ಅಥ ಆನಂದಾನ್ ಮುದಃ ಪ್ರಮುದಃ ಸೃಜತೆ. third idea. ನ ತತ್ರ ವೇಷಾಂತಾಃ ಪುಷ್ಕರಿಣ್ಯಃ ಸ್ರವಂತ್ಯಃ ಭವಂತಿ. another idea. ಅಥ ವೇಷಾಂತಾನ್ ಪುಷ್ಕರಿಣೀಃ ಸ್ರವಂತೀಃ ಸೃಜತೆ. that's another idea. So these are all the steps of the ladder. Ultimately, sahi karta, then tadete sloka bhavanti. So karta, sloka are the two terms we have got to catch up in their import and their significance. So kartrutva does not stop. When we are there, born in the world, you go to school, education. When you are adult, you get another companion, male or female, depending on your gender. Then you are giving rise for family, meaning children, house, job, saving, all these things will happen. So all through the time, even when people retire, the kartrutva will not stop. You may not go to office where from you retired. But when you are living, you are in the house. You have to do housekeeping. The children will say, Papa, Nana, do it. Go there. So this kind of karma, anubhava and karma kartrutvam also is being assigned. But when that kartrutvam becomes a sloka, and afterwards what it is there. So there is this Upanishad, Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad, more so in this particular section on Munikanda, we are seeing the algebraic procedures. And algebra is there where impartial, where you try to solve problems impersonal. When you say a plus b whole squared is equal to 2ab, that a and b could be anything in the world. There is nothing naming. You can name afterwards. And other than the AB, you have got C, constant. So with these things, you make all the algebra or mathematics going on. Adrinda, illi, karta, how long you can remain as a karta? You have got to retire there also. How long you can work in an office? You should retire. How long you can stay in your house? You should retire. How long you can stay in your body? You should retire. So, one by one, we have got to have that kind of vimukti. So, vimukti in the moksha antara. This is exactly the question in Ashtavakra Gita. Ashtavakra is a great gnani, and I am holding classes on Ashtavakra Gita every Monday, India, 7 o'clock. So, Ashtavakra is trying to answer the 4 questions. There are 4 questions by Janaka Maharaja, because though Janaka himself is a Gnani and Vedantin and all that, but there is no end for this kind of Gnanam. As long as you breathe your life, it is always safe to add and add and add and add. See, after 60, 70 years, when I asked one person to come to class or to come to lecture or to read this book and all that, that person said, no, I have spent already 70 years. Why do I read any books? Why do I go to lectures? Why do I do it? This is not at all positivity. You will be more miserable if you avoid all these things at all. Therefore, you must have the seeking of Gnanam more and more until the last breath of your life. My professor Krishnamurti say, you should be ready to learn even at the deathbed. Even at the last breath or deathbed, you should be also adding, because to add that kind of bit of knowledge, you need not take one more birth. Others to birth by birth, if at all, should be an improvement. That's why Krishna said in Gita also, Bahunam Janmanamante Gnanavan Mam Prapajyate. So, you keep on this particular section is so interesting that you are slowly climbing the ladder of mukti, parabrahmatvam and sarira rahityam and moksha. So ಅದರಿಂದ ಇಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಋಷೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಜ್ಞಾನೀಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನೀಸ್, ದೇ ನೋ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಪೀಪಲ್. Unless the ordinary people appreciate the teacher cannot be having circulation in the classroom. And also it is said, a lecturer, any teacher should set question paper, keeping the ordinary student in view, but not the intelligent student. When question paper or questions are given in the paper, keeping the ordinary student enabled to write down the answers, naturally the intelligent fellow will get 90s and 80s and so on. And this fellow will get 30 marks and pass, because we are all teachers. We know the pulse of the students, all kinds of people, and they know their intelligence and grasping power and diversions, etc. So in the same manner, I think our Yajnavalkya Maharshi is a friend to us all, trying to educate us from rudiments to mansions of knowledge, Vedantic knowledge. I think I stop here, it's time. And so to sit in a Upanishadic class is not easy one, because we are getting knowledge not connected to the mundane or material things, but we are getting plus knowledge. Something like you do C++ or C++ or C++ or Java and all this computer knowledge. Like that, here we are sitting in a Upanishadic class where we are trying to note down more and more knowledge, what happens, because our body is not constant and our body is not stout always, and so many changes day by day in the body it took place. Not doing anything, you will see white hair in our hair. So like that. So next to the subsequent portion of this section, it will be still more interesting, because we are almost trying to go to the destination of this Munikanda exposition. Om Swasti Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om
Shanti Shanti.
Harihi Om.
Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Shri Veda Purusha Ashirvadostu. Namaskar, Gurude.
That's Satu. How do you like a science student sitting in the Upanishad class?
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗುರುಳೆ ನಾನು ಡ್ರೈವಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು 7 ಕಾಲಿಂದ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಬಟ್ ಗುರುಳೆ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಇದು ಉಪನಿಷತ್ಸು ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ನಿಜ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟು ವಾಸ್ತವ್ಯವಾಗಿ, ಇಷ್ಟು ವಿವರವಾಗಿ ಆದಿತ್ಯ ಹೃದಯ, ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಆದಿತ್ಯ ಹೃದಯ, ಲಲಿತಾ ಸಹಸ್ರನಾಮ, ರಾಮಾಯಣ, ನಾರಾಯಣಿಯಮ್ಮು, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ, ವಿಷ್ಣು ಸಹಸ್ರನಾಮ, ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಲಹರಿ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಒಂದು ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಬಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೀಚ್. ಅದನ್ನ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬದಲ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಕೂತವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂದ, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಆಗ್ಲಿ. ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ಅದು. ಸೊ
ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್. Because it is the people who are in science and technology to listen.
Yes,
that will be adding so much of discipline and administrative skills to them. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದಾರೆ, CEOs ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಹೆನ್ಸಿವ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಡ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್.
ಗುರುಳೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ನಾಳೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೌದಿ ಅರೇಬಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಮಹಾನ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಕೈಂಡ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇದೇ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಬುದಾಬಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾಳೆ